Explain poetry and technology. Poetry is so rich and elegant, technology is taking that away. I am not anti-technology, but I think people should cherish their feelings. It will not be able to happen if we're cyber people, emotionless. What do you think will be most important? The poetry will be most important. Inspiration for this project as well. Wes Anderson is my artist model. I quite like his symmetrical framing. Nam June Paik and philosopher Plato. Nam June Paik uses vintage TVs and is an installation artist whose work revolves around technology's future. Plato is cynical of poetry. He prefers logic like a computer. My work shows that I see and disagree.
Now, Tanaka, tell me what inspired you to make an artistic film about emotions? Often when we hear the word emotions, our brains subconsciously categorises certain emotions with certain genders. I simply want my film to break these ingrained views, to challenge the perceptions of my audience. And I notice your film incorporates, use of collage. Is there any symbolism behind that? Right, well, my use of collage in my film is actually symbolism for facades, and it speaks as a metaphor for the theme of appearances versus reality that comes with emotions. Right. We could be feeling one way, but we may act a certain way, in order to fit, societal norms. Right. My actor, covering up her reflection that she sees in the mirror with pop cultural references being models and actresses is, symbolism for the idea of, feeling the pressure to need to conform to societal standards.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Hello and welcome back to the Jerry Johnny Show. I'm your host Jerry Johnny, and today we have the lovely Alia McFadden. Now Alia, I've heard you're creating an artistic film. What exactly is this film all about? Well, I wanted my film to be all about how your decisions shape your future. In past projects I'd been looking at how reason and emotion play a huge role in decision making. But with this one, I wanted to look at it from a different point of view. Instead of looking into the future, I wanted to look into the past and how your past decisions affect you emotionally. And how are you going to portray this? Well, there's this film called Vertigo, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. In the scene, he uses flashes of colour, and I thought it would be really cool to portray emotions using colour and flashes of them.
Good morning, this is CSJ TV. We're here with new, fresh, young director Jackson Kidd here. Thank you, lovely to be here. Thank you. First off, this was inspired by the events in China. Are you drawn to human rights issues? Absolutely. I think it's very important that these issues are talked about, so it can encourage people who aren't normally invested and help them to have their own voice. And what do you think would happen if this system was actually implemented in New Zealand? I'd like to think that New Zealand won't ever have a government that doesn't trust its citizens. And what kind of other works have influenced your project? The main two is Christopher Guest for his mockumentary style and his typical documentary features, and Taika Waititi because of his Kiwi sense of humour. And what kind of response do you see New Zealand audiences having? I want them to relate to the Kiwis in this film and know that if these boundaries were implemented, it could be them suffering and the people that they know suffering. In New Zealand we have this not in my backyard attitude. Many of us turn a blind eye to stuff happening on the other side of the world. Well, thank you Jackson for coming on the show, and thank you for tuning in. This has been CSJ TV. Bye bye.
Hi, I was just wanting to ask you some questions about your upcoming film that I've heard you're creating. Why do you have so much dialogue? Well, I chose not to have dialogue because I think that it makes the video more powerful, and I think it's more effective when it doesn't have very much dialogue. Why did you choose the theme emotions? Yeah, so I was most interested by the theme emotions, especially with a teenager, with life being really stressful, a lot of hormones. I found it was the easiest thing to relate to, I guess you could say. Oh, okay. So, what is the point of the video? Well, I wanted to encourage people to be themselves. But how would watching as a learning help? So by watching someone else, maybe they could relate.
My video will be aimed at people in the fashion industry and those customers, so an older audience. The video will be released to the public on social media as an advertisement video to campaign for the new season of clothing. Because I'm not working with a fashion designer or a company to help me with models and clothing, I've had to utilise thrift shops and other people's closets to get the outfits that I want. This has been tricky, but I've managed to come out with some somewhat high fashionable outfits within a low budget. The type of aesthetic, tone and style I want to try and emulate would be strong yet elegant. The power of both men and women. I also have a lot of photographers and directors I like, so I'm aiming to try and take some of their techniques and use them in my video. I really look up to Tom Ford. He uses layered fabrics and suits in a way that looks elegant yet powerful. I also like Versace and how Gianni uses bright colours and outrageous patterns. They both really inspire me, and the amount that they've achieved in their lifetime is something I strive for.
Hello Jess, how are you? Thank you, I'm alright. How about yourself? I'm good, thanks. Today we're going to be talking about your newest work. Well, I felt the need to produce something that was personal to myself. Everyone at some point in their lives deals with a toxic relationship. Why 2D animation instead of 3D, and which many people are beginning to use? Yes, I understand that 3D animation is definitely becoming more popular. However, I feel that 2D animation has a sense of rawness and a very personal touch to it. The style is just very nostalgic, and of course it was in a lot more movies around the time when I was younger, and shows. And Disney, for example, has a lot of its classics all hand-drawn. The style just has a very special touch. It was lovely meeting you, thank you.
No, I'm good, thank you. Yeah. I just want to have a chat with you about your testing video that's releasing next year. What inspired you to use a rotoscope? I've always had a connection to dance, and I feel like rotoscoping really just accentuates the lines of a dancer and the geometrical shapes that can sometimes get lost within the movement. Yeah, so I really think it's great to just highlight that and really make that pop in a video. Great. Yeah. Why did you choose to use spirals and triangles? I guess I chose spirals and triangles because of their uniqueness and their real connection to historical events. And also, spirals and just really linear things can really be found in dance. And also, like with triangles, there are so many historical events, like the Egyptian pyramids, which I feel so much meaning behind them. Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Time for today. But good luck with the artistic film. I'm sure that's going to go great. Yeah. No, it was really great. Thank you.
Hello Madeline, thank you for coming here today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So what would you like to discuss?
Today I wanted to talk about your newest film. And can I just start by asking, what made you choose a theme like eccentricities and shares to work around?
My reasoning is that I wanted to have an in-depth concept that can listen for the viewers of my film to understand. This being to show that it's okay to wonder about the meaning of your life, because it can help you in the future to shape your decisions and choices.
It seems like you've put a lot of thought into this. So tell me, what emotions do you think your work brings forth with viewers?
Well, I would say that anyone who views my film will discover themselves feeling surprised at what they may learn. But it will bring peace and relief from the reassurance that my film will bring, as it shows that existential crises do not last forever and in the end can help you.
Gosh, this seems to have so much depth. What makes your work unique from others?
I guess mine is different in the way that it is an artistic film with no dialogue.
Well, I've enjoyed getting some insight into your film.
So what kind of short film will you be making? The short film will be in a documentary style while still showing aspects of an artistic film. I will include interviews with the dancers as well as artistic clips of movement and the quality of performance. What emotions will be portrayed in the film?
I will express the emotions of resilience, determination and hard work, and I will look at the dancer behind the movement. Who will be your target audience for the film? I aim to create a documentary that is accessible for everyone, whether you are a dancer or not. Depending on who you are, it will have a different effect. For example, if you're a dancer, you will look at it as being inspiring and motivating and relatable, and if you're not a dancer, you will look at dance differently and see what you don't usually see on stage. And lastly, who are your artist models? I have 2 artist models that I will be taking influence for this project, and they are Lewis Greenfield, who is a dance photographer, and Bess Karkman, who is the director of ballet documentary First Position.